As always, Ted, kick us off. Who do you have as your winner of the weekend?
Oh, I've got to go with Drew Gilbert, Tennessee baseball, in what is maybe the coolest scene I've seen in college baseball. I haven't seen a lot of college baseball, admittedly, but this was awesome. It's at Tennessee. The crowd is going insane, home atmosphere, night game. They're down to Wright State 8-5 in the bottom of the ninth, one out, bases loaded, and Drew Gilbert drops a bomb. And that place went insane. That's one of the coolest moments. I mean, as a kid, everyone has gone through that whole scenario a million times in the backyard. That was one of the coolest things I've seen.
It was awesome. I I admittedly do not watch much college baseball. Like I'll watch OU. That's about it. But that scene was sick, and he hit another home run today. And I think it hit a bus. Like he hit this thing so far out of the stadium. It was really impressive. But yeah, those are the type of moments, right, that make it postseason no matter what the sport is. Those types of moments they're incredible. And that's why we love sports, dude.
I saw someone put the music, the theme from The Natural to the highlight, and I mean,
Nice.
and it's stuff like this got like a million views. It's insane. That was amazing, and that shows you in some areas of the country how big college baseball is. Right, that place was packed. That was awesome.
What did you think of there's a lot of people that are all about the unwritten rules of baseball. I've never seen a home run pimped more than that one.
Uh, he hits it. I mean, blast it. He's left-hander, so he takes it to right center. And the camera trails the ball the entire way, and it's out of the park, and he hit it a mile. And then they pan back to him, and he's not even out of the batter's box yet.
Did you?
He's
Okay,
still
so
standing
there's the
there.
bat flip, but he takes his sweet time, and as he's coming around third, and poor Wright State is having to watch all this, and he takes his helmet, and the guy's got a hell of an arm. He throws his helmet like all the way into center field. It was unbelievable.
I love it. I personally say on a walk-off grand slam in the bottom of the ninth, all unwritten rules are out the window when it comes to bat flips and showing up the pitcher. And at that point, you're not necessarily showing up the pitcher. You're just extremely excited for your team. So
Oh,
that was awesome.
I am I think that baseball would be so much more fun if hitters, when they hit home runs, they just turned and like stared at the pitcher and just went, you like that. That would be great. I would love, like, you should be allowed to do that, in my opinion. I think it would make the sport more fun. And then I also think they should let them fight. But you know
I
what?
do too. I agree.
So
Totally agree. But that was awesome. Drew Gilbert, hats off, brother.
yeah, that was great. All right, who do you have as your loser of the weekend?
Um, my loser is all of the teams in the Women's College World Series except for Oklahoma. Because I got to tell you, I know they added the upper deck and they've got the seating around the outfield. I don't know what the place holds right now, but it's 95% Sooner fans. And I'm telling you, like when they were playing James Madison today, I was like, yeah, this is quite the home field advantage right now. And it got to Odyssey Alexander. It did. And that crowd they're into it. You've got former players there. You've got football players there. You've got Warfel Award winners there. It's the who's who hanging out at that game, and it's just a crazy atmosphere. It's a massive home field advantage for Oklahoma, and there's no way around saying that.
We apologize for nothing. Right? I mean, you're right. I completely agree. Like there's no doubt that there is a massive advantage for Oklahoma in those games, but
it is what it is, man.
You had to play You had to play LSU in New Orleans.
That's right.
That
and that's
happens.
the thing. Everyone talks about if you should move it or rotate it. Well, if you rotate it, it's not like you're going to play the thing in, Michigan. You're probably going to play it somewhere in the Southeast, or you're going to play it on the West Coast. And if it's on the West Coast, UCLA is going to have the same type of atmosphere. If it's in the SEC, Alabama or Florida State or whoever is going to have that same type of atmosphere. So we should just keep it here.
I agree, especially since they have the contract to like 2035.
Let's renew it now while it's hot.
Yeah.
Everyone's liking it.
Let's go.
Push that sucker out.
Hey, 2100. Here we go. Boom.
Speaking of though, what do you think it will be like on 3:00 on a Monday?
It's probably not going to be chilly.
No, I'm talking about.
Oh, you're talking about the crowd?
Yeah,
oh, yeah, that thing's going to be rocking. People are going to adjust their schedule for that game. I know I am. My wife just texted me the details. She said, I'm supposed to have a meeting. I said, no, you don't. We're going. Like you gotta cancel that thing.
The meeting. That's right.
Yeah, but no doubt the Sooners faithful take that building over. That building, man, there's a lot of people in that thing.
Do you know how much it holds?
I don't know the total, but they're saying something around like 13,000 or something like that. Like, that's awesome. I will say this. They need to add a few more concessions. I don't know how they could orient it, but concession line's entirely too long. Get on it, City of Oklahoma City. Come on.
I will say I felt bad for the guy that got tossed from the game for jumping down there to get that softball. It's a bit much, right?
You're told from the day you're born, you're told to try your best and give it maximum effort. And that's what that man did. And he got kicked out of the game for it.
Yeah. Just, fleece him for $20-$40, whatever, and send him back to his chair.
Completely agree. Okay, Ted, for my winner of the weekend, I thought about going with the PGA Tour because my goodness, was there a lot going on at the Memorial. You talk about storylines. You had Bryson getting heckled and having people kicked off the course. Then you had Brooks Koepka putting out video saying, well, if your time was cut short, DM my friends at Michelob Ultra and they'll send you some free beer. That feud is amazing for golf, but that wasn't even the most dramatic thing, right? You had Jon Rahm walk off 18 on Saturday with a 6-shot lead, and then he's just standing there, and it looks like some tragedy has happened to him. Now, they told him he has COVID and couldn't play the rest of the round, and I bet he was pissed, and I don't know what the PGA is supposed to do in that situation, but for a second, I thought maybe someone died or something. I was like, oh my gosh.
That's what I thought. I was in the backyard. We were watching, I think they're in weather delay for softball whenever that breaking news came in, and they showed it, and they're like, oh, breaking news. And then they showed Jon Rahm. I was like, oh no, what happened? But
tell me it's not the kid. It's not the kid, is it?
He lost a lot of money.
A lot of money.
God.
Yeah, he had a 6-shot lead. He was playing some really good golf, but hey, Patrick Cantlay ends up winning, beats Colin Morikawa in a playoff. It was a really fun tournament, but Jon Rahm was going to win that thing. Anyone with eyeballs saw that. Yeah, and you're right. What, like 1.7 mil?
I feel like I would send, if I won 1.7 million and Rahm had that big of a lead, I feel like I'd have to send him some decent chunk of cash, or at least a great gift.
You would never do that. That's one of those, huh? Tough luck, man. Sorry.
I'd just like shoot a video of me purchasing my new yacht and be like, thanks, brother. Woo! Uh,
Appreciate you, John.
you're right, though. I feel like because of what's happened the last couple of weeks, has the PGA hired writers like WWE? Is that what's going on all of a sudden?
It's just they're cutting promos left and right, Ted. I love
It's
it.
crazy. I mean, we've seen over the last 2 weeks some of the craziest stuff in golf, and you said it after the first DeChambeau and Kepka thing. They had to figure out a way, knowing that there's not going to be any more Tiger Woods, and we're getting drama, baby, one way or another.
I love it. But my winner of the weekend, definitely the Tennessee Titans. Man, I mean, they trade a second round pick and a fourth round pick for Julio Jones in a sixth round pick. Now, the Titans, it sounds like the Titans will have to restructure a few guys' deals to make the numbers work from a cap standpoint. But are you kidding me? I know Julio has been banged up, and maybe he's not going to be the Julio Jones that a lot of us remember ever again. But when he's healthy, he is still an absolute problem, Ted. And my God, this feels like a solid trade for the Titans. Julio Jones wanted out. He ends up landing in a really good spot, a team that is positioned very well to win their division, go to the playoffs, make some noise. And that Titans offense all of a sudden is a group that is going to keep some NFL defensive coordinators up at night. If their offensive line plays well, I really don't know what you choose to try to take away when you play the Titans. Like if you're going to load the box, if you're going to say, hey, we're going to stop Derrick Henry, they've got A.J. Brown and Julio Jones on the outside. Like what the hell do you do, Ted?
I don't know. And I got to tell you, and I don't know if this ever happens, but I feel like there's something else involved here. Like the two owners, there's also like a vacation home or something here that Tennessee is sending to Atlanta, because this trade is ridiculous. And I know there's big contract money there, but you're getting two opportunities that not even really great opportunities, a second and a fourth for a known commodity and another pick. I I don't know. I think this is a crazy trade, but sometimes whenever you know a guy's not staying around, the value really gets diminished. It's not like you can demand a ransom whenever the player's sitting there saying that he ain't playing and he wants out. So this is fantastic for Tennessee. They've had a hell of an offseason.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Also, it's weird. Like Julio Jones is the best wide receiver in the history of the franchise, and just kind of forced his way out, kind of quietly, until
Yeah.
the Shannon Sharp thing. Like it was, oh well, yeah, Julio kind of said something about being traded, yeah, and then all of a sudden, one of the best players in franchise history is gone, and Arthur Smith, who is now the Falcons head coach, was the offensive coordinator for Tennessee. So now it's like, okay, what? I don't know, man. But I just saw the trade and I was like, that's it. What?
I know. It's crazy. Kudos to Tennessee. When someone wants out, they're good. Julio Jones is going to show up and he's going to bring his A game. He wants to win, and that's one of the things that he said. He had grown frustrated there, and I don't blame him. I think not only is there good value here for Tennessee, but I think they're going to get Julio Jones at his absolute best, and that doesn't have to be a 10 or 12 targets a game type of Julio Jones. It's go win some one-on-ones whenever we need you to.
Right.
It's going to be a low pressure situation for him.
Just a reminder, when you talk about receivers in the history of the league, I think like yards per game, he averages almost like 10 yards more than second place, who is Calvin
Crazy.
Johnson. Like it's like 95 and a half yards a game. So when he is healthy, oh boy, watch out. Okay, my loser of the weekend, thought about going with the Brooklyn Nets. And I know that's weird because they won game 1 against the Bucks, but well, James Harden re-aggravated that hammy. I mean, lasted about 10 seconds in that game, and they've already announced he'll be out for game 2. And I just really I really have a hard time believing that the Nets can go win it all without Harden being healthy. And at this point, with how much trouble this hamstring is giving him, he's not going to be right until next season. So I'm almost starting to like write him off in my to write him off in my mind. And I don't think that KD and Kyrie can do it alone. They're going to have to get games from Blake Griffin like they got in game 1. Blake was awesome in that game, and I was happy to see that. Once again, we are in a very weird spot cheering for Blake and cheering for the it's a very weird dynamic in my head right now with the Nets. But when Harden went down, I was like, okay, this makes things very interesting.
Yeah, well, luckily they've got plenty of offense around him, but I agree that they got to have all hands on deck if they're going to really go out and win this thing. Um, Hamstrings are brutal. Some guys, and I don't know if it's just like the biomechanics of your stride and how you move, but some guys have hamstrings and can play through it like it's no big deal. But other guys, like me, for example, I had a hamstring injury. If I moved at all, I would re-injure it. I would re-aggravate it, and just because some guys are wound tighter than others, and I don't know what he is, but it's for some people it's almost impossible to get that thing back to 100% until it's 100%. Like you have to stay off of it and rehab it until it's 100% before you can start to move on it again. And it's just it's a bad scenario to go through because if you keep re-aggravating it, you never know whenever it's going to be the time wherever it's so bad that you're done and you're out for the rest of the playoffs. So it's a dangerous road to be going down right now and a miserable one. It's not going to be very fun for him.
Yeah, but my loser of the weekend, the Dallas Mavericks. You had 2 games. You had one job. Beat the LA Clippers. All you had to do was beat the Clippers and bring all of us joy. And you failed, Dallas Mavericks. What the hell, man? I don't want to hear about Kawhi taking his game to the next level on both ends of the floor and playing like one of the best players we've ever seen in those 2 games. I don't want to hear it. All you had to do was beat the Clippers. I don't want to hear that the Clippers shot like 47% from 3, including Marcus Morris going 7 of 9 from deep in game 7. I don't want to hear it. Tim Hardaway Jr., hit a shot, man. Come on, hit a 3, figure it out. Luka, you had like 46 points. You're cool. That was pretty impressive. But I really can't say anything to Luka. But Porzingis, you're like 11 feet tall. Can we get a rebound, sir? Make yourself useful, please. All you had one job: beat the Clippers, so that we can all celebrate in their misery. I cannot believe. And what made it even worse, Ted, was that they gave them, they looked like they were coming back in the fourth quarter. They cut that big deficit down to like 7, and they gave me hope, only for that hope to be crushed by a shot from Reggie Jackson.
Of all people.
Ugh. Marcus Morris again. Like back-to-back threes. I was like, Reggie Jackson hit that shot. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Well, if one of the Morris brothers is 7 of 9 from 3, you can stop right there. It's not your day.
Yeah. So gross. Damn it. I wanted the Clippers to lose so badly. And maybe what I'm the most upset about, now I have to cheer for the Jazz. The Jazz? I'm gonna have to take a
Brutal.
shower after every game. The Jazz. I gotta cheer
Yeah.
for Rudy Gobert. Are you kidding? Ugh.
Yeah. Pretty frustrating.
I can't cheer for the Clippers, so that means I have to cheer for the Jazz. Thanks, Mavericks. It's your fault.
It
Two
may be one of
games.
those things
Just
where
win.
sometimes you can't help what happens to you mentally whenever you watch a game. The Jazz may be such a turnoff that you somehow miraculously find yourself okay with the Clippers winning.
Absolutely not. They got Paul George and Reggie Jackson. I remember what Reggie Jackson said about Oklahoma City.
Reggie
I ain't ever
Jackson's
forgetting it.
he's tough to watch. Yeah.
Now he's wearing goofy goggles. Ugh. Reggie Jackson. Go Jazz. Oh, that sounds gross coming out.
It feels like everyone that's been on the Thunder have gone on to win a championship, and I know that's not the case, but my God, if Reggie Jackson does that, just
I will not be
horrible.
well.
No.
I will not be well if that happens. I'm cheering for Blake, and I'm all aboard the Hawks train. Right? I'm all aboard the Hawks train, especially Embiid with the meniscus, right? I mean, Trae Young, they go to Philly, win game 1. Trae was great again. Hawks are fun to watch. Why not? Got to pick a team, right? Thunder aren't in it.
I'm with you.
Mavericks, what the God?